Welcome to AAPA's 90th annual meeting. My name is Leslie Olesko. I have the distinct honor and challenge of being the Vice President and Program Chair for this remarkable gathering of our community. If you are a first-time meeting attendee, welcome. I truly hope you find your people here in our association. If you are a long-time meeting attendee, welcome back. And thank you for joining in on this virtual meeting experiment. Many of the details are different from years past, but I sincerely hope that you find that the scientific sparks and professional social connections are just as wonderful as you found them to be in years past. You know that saying, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade? Well, as the year unfolded, AAPA's executive committee decided to do exactly this for our annual meeting. Rather than simply shift our in-person annual meeting format to an online platform, we reconceptualized the whole thing. We designed a meeting that takes advantage of the strengths that a virtual meeting has to offer. In this video, I'm going to walk you through our meeting space here on the Pathable platform. There are some fantastic features that make it work really well for an organization in a meeting like ours. And there are also, of course, a couple of quirks that I'll tell you about. You have already discovered the homepage where you found the link to this video. So now I'm going to share my screen and have you scroll down a little bit further in your browser window. So here is the splash page, and now scroll down. You'll see our 20 and first you'll see our keynote speaker, Sherry Martz. Her live-only event, Include is a Verb, is our conference kickoff. This takes place on Wednesday, April 7th. A little further down, you'll see the 20 and 2021 Lifetime Achievement Award winners. You can click on their photos to learn more about their accomplishments, or you can find them here through this drop-down menu at the top of your browser. Be sure to come to the opening reception where we can collectively celebrate these 6 Lifetime Achievement awardees. Also want to point out that our 2021 Pulitzer Award winners are recognized here as well. As you scroll further down the splash page, you'll see our meeting sponsors. Many, many thanks to these organizations that have continued to support AAPA over the years, and especially who have been here for us in these trying times. Scrolling back up on this book through the splash page, you'll notice an area that highlights 5 ways to engage with our annual meeting. You can click on the invited symposia or the scientific sessions to access the 600 presentations that make up the scientific component of our meeting. If you are looking for publishing, teaching, or research resources for your work, be sure to visit our exhibitors. You can also connect with them through the drop-down menu at the top of the page here. Perhaps you would like to get a boost for your skills in grant writing, peer review, or publishing your scientific work. Or you'd like some motivation and techniques for how to overcome professional hurdles that might be standing in your way. Be sure to check out our professional development part of the program to see the various workshops we've lined up for you. Or maybe you decided to stop by the meeting today for a few minutes to kick back a little and enjoy some laughs and more casual social time with colleagues. Come feed your soul by exploring the social events we have lined up. There's a little something for everyone in every time zone. You can also navigate to all of these events through the schedule at the top of your browser window. And as you tick mark ones that catch your fancy, you'll be compiling your own personal My Schedule that you can then more simply keep track of them all. So let's go and look at the full schedule here. There are 2 ways to visualize the program. You can scroll down through time, as you see here. The categories of events are color-coded. For example, invited symposia are indicated by a yellow bar at the top of their window. You can also visualize the program by clicking on the calendar view. And this will lay it out like a desktop calendar. This view I really like, but it is a little quirky. So if the full agenda doesn't load quite right, so if some of the days that you know should have a meeting on them are blank, you just refresh the page up here. And that should always come up on a second try. At least it's worked for me every time. Now, the Pathable site is excellent, but I do think the size of our meeting is at the upper ranges of the site's capacity. So the trick I have found that seems to fix all quirkiness is to refresh often. So you can see the full program here, or you can just look at one category of events. So if you just want to look at, so say workshops here, like to point out that the events, while they are color-coded, some of the events fall under two different categories, and you'll see that they have two different colors to highlight them. So for example, this professional development workshop is also a Committee on Diversity event as well. Well, let's go back now to the full schedule. In calendar view, when you're here, you can just hover over an event and it will give you a sense of what that little preview, and you would just click go to meeting to actually go to that page. Let's go to this plenary event. Get a sense of what each event page looks like. First thing you will notice is a countdown clock. There are 5 days, 20 hours, 11 minutes, and 40 seconds left until this event begins at the time that I've recorded this video. As you can see, I could remove it from my calendar, or I can add it onto my calendar there. You can take notes if you would like. If you go to manage, it just gives you some of the logistical details about start time. If you are a presenter or a speaker, you can go into the green room for an event 20 minutes before it begins. If you are just attending, you can sign in 1 minute before the event attends, and the whole thing will automatically close 10 minutes after the event time has passed. So if you want to linger with colleagues, you might want to move over into another Zoom room before the Pathable site shuts down automatically. Let's go back to our schedule and look at some scientific sessions. There are two types of scientific sessions. There are invited symposia in yellow and contributed sessions in this blue color here. If you are new to AAPA, know that an invited symposium it's where an organizer has pulled together speakers and invited specific speakers to address a hot topic of the day. So what's invited about these symposia are the speakers, not the attendees. You do not have to be invited to attend. Everyone who is registered for the meeting is welcome to attend one of these. Let's check out one of these events here. Let's go to this one. We click go to meeting. And here is an invited symposium page. Again, we have our countdown clock. I've already added this to my personal calendar. We have the organizer, Jada Venturas, and indicated with a blue dot, and then our presenters also indicated color-coded for their various roles throughout the whole meeting. I want to draw your attention to two things. One, if you scroll down, you can see a description of the event here. You can then, below that, find just some logistical information about the session. Notice that there is this chat box. The chat boxes are going to be your friend throughout this Pathable experience. You'll notice that I already entered in a comment for the organizer, thanking them for organizing what looks to be a very, very interesting symposium. Might I suggest that as you peruse through the different sessions, symposia, and presentations, sprinkle a little positivity along with your questions we could all use with some happiness and grace in these very trying times. This is where you're going to post questions and comments. Session chairs and assistant session chairs who are graduate student volunteers will be monitoring these throughout the course of the meeting. So starting from April 5th all the way through the end of May. And they'll be making sure that questions and comments are not missed as presenters get sidetracked with other things. And they'll also be making sure that all comments are falling in line with our code of conduct. So I ask you, if you see something that seems amiss, please speak up. If there are comments that seem to brush up against or cross the line with our code of conduct, you can report these. You go up to the information drop-down menu in the upper right corner of your browser, go to code of conduct. You can then read the code of conduct if you like, or you can go here to report harassment. A confidential report can be made right there. So let's go back to our symposium. Another thing I want to make sure you know is how to access all of the individual presentations. So each of these are the presentations in this symposium. Let's check out this one here. This presenter has uploaded a video, and you can just hit play straight from the browser window that you have open. You don't have to launch another tab or anything like that. It will play right within this window. Let's go back. Let's check out some contributed sessions now. So the contributed sessions, these are the abstracts that people submitted back in October, and the program committee went through all of those abstracts and clustered them. First, they were clustered by one of 8 key terms that tend to organize the scientific component of our program. Those 8 key terms, you'll find one of them at the very start of the title of the session, followed by a colon. So bioarchaeology. After the colon, you have a more specific description of what that cluster of presentations is addressing. So the program committee came up with a theme that pulls together those presentations that are part of that session. So we have bioarchaeology, forensic anthropology, genetics and genomics, paleoanthropology. You'll notice that all of these sessions are much smaller than sessions that we have hosted in the past. This is a benefit of the online platform. We can have a lot of different sessions. The other wonderful thing about each of these sessions is that they are a mix of video presentations or podium presentations and also poster presentations. So here we have, again, the countdown clock. I'm going to reserve my spot. You can put comments into the chat, and let's go check out one of these presentations. This one is different than the one you just saw because it's a poster. You can zoom in and out using the plus and minus buttons here. You navigate from side to side using these navigation bars there. This author did something that I find really helpful, I really appreciate in this online format when I'm looking at posters, is that they uploaded an audio file. And so while you're looking at the poster, you can listen to the presenter talk about their research. Other files that presenters may have put up is perhaps a PDF or a data set or anything else that they feel might augment their presentation. If you were giving a presentation and you did not take advantage of this section of your page, please go right ahead and upload things now. You're always welcome to modify that. Let's go back to our main schedule. Now you've gotten a good sense of what is going on in terms of the scientific side of the meeting. I want to show you a few other things that are on the schedule. Let's check out the social events. As I mentioned before, we have a little bit of something for everyone. The one thing about an in-person meeting is that you can run into somebody in the hallway, meet them in the lobby. You can have a lot more serendipity happen at a meeting in terms of how you interact socially and casually. We need to be a bit more deliberate, to say the least, with an online conference. So what we have done is organized quite a few different social events where hopefully something will catch your interest and draw you in to have some of those more serendipitous interactions in a much more deliberate setting. We have our opening reception and lifetime achievement awards, which is the kickoff in the afternoon, late afternoon or evening, depending on where you are in the world event. This event is actually going to be hosted off of the Pathable platform. So please follow these instructions, simple instructions to get you over to the Wonder Me reception room. We have we have 4 different events that will take place in this reception room. So watch out for the Wonder Me events. We also have, as you'll notice, a social drop-down menu at the top of your browser screen. This is not where you find the social events. This is where you do your more one-on-one social interactions. Notice that up here in the upper right-hand corner, I have this red circle with a 1 on it. This indicates that I have 1 message in my inbox. So I can go down to my inbox and check this out. Someone sent me a message. Who could it be? Oh, it's Ann Grauer, the president of AAPA. So she had sent me a message that said, this messaging is so cool, with a nice skeleton. What is his name? Oh, Tweety Bird, of Tweety Bird. And so then I was able to write back. So you can have within platform conversations with colleagues. You can also find colleagues by going to the meeting attendees over here and searching through. If you just want to find people who are lead authors on presentations, go to presenters. If you want to see everyone, go to the attendees. And you can just scroll down. You can just keep scrolling if you'd like, or you can jump to a letter of the alphabet if you would prefer to go a little faster, or you know where you want to head to. You can also search for someone here to try to find them as well. And that will pull up a colleague. And then you can find exactly what they're up to at the meeting so that you don't miss any of their research presentation. One of the other things you can do on social is to schedule a meeting. So let's say I wanted to schedule a meeting with Christopher Schmidt. So I would go here to new member for my meeting. It's being a little slow. We'll see what happens. Let's do a reload, because sometimes when it's quirky, a reload is what fix it. Here we go. And now I can, I think I hit reload before I did that. Yeah. So we can hang here together while the site reloads for us. So I'm going to pick a new member for my meeting. So let's have a meeting with Christopher Schmidt. There he is. Going to add him to my list. You can have multiple people show up, or you can invite them to your meeting. These are for one-on-ones or small groups. I actually don't know what the upper limit is. See if you can reach it. But I've had meetings with 4 or 5 colleagues without a problem. So then you would continue, and now you need to choose your time and day. So you can go through the different days, and notice that on this calendar, it's pulling up all of the events that are in my personal calendar, and it is also pulling up in gray events that are on my colleague's calendar. So you can get a sense of when might be a good time to suggest a meeting. And so then you would pick your time and then add in some information and then send the invitation. But I'm not going to send Chris an invitation for a 6 a.m. meeting my time. One of the other things that we can do on this social drop-down menu is go visit the social wall. Our social media committee has set up this wall where anything in social media on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube that uses the hashtag AAPA 2021 pops up on our social wall. Come here to see what colleagues are chatting about on social media. So even if you're not on Twitter, you can still follow the hot new things. Let's go back now. I want to show you how to do a search. So I showed you how to search for a name under people by clicking up here. I want to bring up one little quirk that I found happened when I started playing around on the Pathable site, was that when I went to this search bar right here, is that Google would autofill my credit card payment information. You can turn that off. Well, first off, you don't need to worry because it's only something happening on your side that Pathable has nothing to do. They're not paying any attention to that. If you screen share, that's not going to show up. But if it's bothering you, it was kind of bugging me, is I just went into my Google settings and there is actually an autofill um, uh, menu just over on the left-hand side near the top of the menu list, and you can just turn that off and it won't bug you anymore. So this search field is a little bit different depending on where on the site you are. So if you go to the full schedule page and you go up into the search function here, you can actually search by the different tracks. We have preloaded some things you may be interested in or keywords. Remember, I mentioned that the contributed sessions are primarily organized around these 8 key research areas that cover a lot of the breadth within our organization. And let's say you're mostly interested in seeing events that are related to education. And so here are the different sessions and talk and presentations that are focused on education, including 2 different contributed sessions, and then one of our invited symposia fell under that category as well. All right, you may have also noticed that we have our exhibits and sponsors, so please go check out our exhibitors, leave them messages, go to some of the workshops that they have organized, and some more are coming, will be organized by exhibitors. Fantastic opportunities. And then I also want to show you games. So for those of you who have a little bit of a competitive side and would really enjoy your meeting experience to have a little gamification in it, we have one set up for you. So as you attend different events, you rack up points. And Pathable keeps track of that, so you don't need to keep track of it. You don't need to file anything. You just show up to things, put them in your calendar, and then show up, or just show up. So for each thing that you attend, you get a number of points here, and we will tally them all up at the end. And the 3 people with the highest tally of points will win prizes. The first place winner will get free registration for the 2022 meeting in Denver next year. Hopefully it will be in Denver. And the second place winner will get a $100 Amazon gift card, and third place gets a $50 Amazon gift card. Now, before I let you go, I do want to point out one of our particularly fun things going on. I showed you some of the social events before. Let me just highlight them a little bit more for you. So let's look at them in calendar view too, so you can see. Notice that we have some social events that, depending on where you are in the world, are at different times of your day. The program committee really wanted to make sure that everyone in every time zone knew that they're welcome, and we're so happy to have you here and we want you to have fun. So we were very deliberate in scheduling scientific sessions so that they at least occur during your daylight hours and not when you are probably sleeping. And we also set up some social events that would occur at some time that's convenient for you. So be sure to check these out. Be sure to try to come to the receptions. They're going to be fun. I promise. I've been to a couple events on Wonder Me and I had a really good time. And then we also have a game night on Wednesday, April 21st. So hope you can make it to that one as well. That's an association-wide one. And so I'll stop sharing with that and just wish you a very happy meeting. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can find me through Pathable or just shoot me an email as well. And I hope to see you. Have a good time.